What is up, guys? My name is Motorius, and today I have an exciting video to bring to you guys. I am going to go over all of the games that went down last night, and boy were they amazing. I'm going to break down and analyze every single game for you. If you missed it, this is the video you need to watch, and even if you watched it, there might have been some things that you missed. So let's go over the games right now. Before I start this video, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel, because if you enjoy Overwatch League content, we are the channel for you. Since the Overwatch League is back with Stage 3, this channel will be a lot more active, so like the video and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get started. With the first match of the day, we had the Gwangju Spark against the Philadelphia Fusion, and boy, it was a complete stomp. Let's go over the scores on each map, and then I'll give you the overall score in the series. So the first map was played on Oasis. The Spark take it 2-0 in an absolute domination on King of the Hill. Then we go to the second map, Paris. It was a little bit closer. The Spark take that 2-1. Then we go to Eichenwald, and this was a complete masterful defense by the Spark, holding the Fusion to 0 points on Eichenwald. They couldn't take point A, and the score on that map was 3-0. And on the last map, it was actually pretty close. It was Gibraltar, and the Spark take it 3-2, making the overall score of the series 4-0. Now, if you're a hardcore Overwatch League fan, this match was really intriguing because both teams have an 8-6 overall record in the league, and they both had their ups and downs. So it was going to be interesting on who would come out on top. Was it the Philadelphia Fusion or the Spark? Both teams are in the middle of the pack, so which team would differentiate themselves and move up the ladder to get into that playoff range? Now, going back to this match, the Spark have insane players. They have Godsby on Zarya, one of the most underrated Zaryas in the game, and if you check his stats, he's one of the top Zaryas in the league. They have Rhea on Diva, they have Gushue on Rhine, BB on Zenyatta. They have these insane players. Now, if you look at Philadelphia Fusion, they strictly have superstars who are also insane. They have Poco on Diva, they have Carpe on Zarya, EQO on Brigitte. So if the Spark and the Fusion go for a 3-3 composition and they mirror each other, which is exactly what they did, then these superstars have to really execute and outdo their opponents. For example, Carpe, if you want to carry the Philadelphia Fusion, you need to have higher energy than Godsby. You need to work on your gravitons and have better effective gravitons than Godsby. Same with Poco. You have to eat gravitons on the other side, just like what Rhea was doing. Sato, your Winston is amazing, but you really need to work on your Rhine because Gushue just outperformed you a little bit better, and I think that's why the Spark really won this match. Their superstars and their players really came together, and they outperformed their opponents on the Philadelphia Fusion on the same hero role. They were more effective, they were better individually, they worked better as a team. The focus fire was way better on the Spark, and if you're at this point in the middle of the season, Stage 3, you really need to step up on the 3-3 composition. You've been playing this composition for a very long time, Philadelphia, and this is the time to really come together. And if it's not working, and this is what I learned from the casters, they were also saying this, you need to switch something up. You see New York Excelsior, Atlanta Reign, these teams are trying new things with the meta ever evolving, so you need to really play to your strengths. If 3-3 isn't working, then you need to switch something up. Who was the player of the match for the Gwangju Spark? It was Rhea. This guy played absolutely insane. Let me give you the exact statistics from the match. As Diva in this match, he had 33,000 damage done, 29 final blows, 6 self-destruct kills. His ults were insane. He had 6 kills with his ults. He ate 2 grabs from Carpe, and these grabs were actually really effective and came down to crucial moments in the match, and his eliminations and deaths were absolutely insane. Check this out. He had 101 eliminations to only 9 deaths. He was really outperforming Poco on the Diva role. He was getting individual picks on Boombox. He was neutralizing Sato, getting on top of him into this weird harassing role that he was playing, but it was still really effective on the Spark. He really neutralized Carpe with his Matrix. He played an amazing Diva, and if you ask Koreans, they'll say that Rhea is actually one of the best Divas in the game. He makes those top 5 lists, so this guy is really underrated. We need to keep talking about him because he's not talked about enough. He played amazing, and with that, the Spark take the series 4-0 against the Philadelphia Fusion. On to the second match of the day, we had the Vancouver Titans against the Atlanta Reign. Let's go over the map scores right now. On the first map, it was played on Nepal. The Vancouver Titans take it 2-0. On Paris, it was really close, but Atlanta Reign strikes back and win it 3-2. The next map was Hollywood. The Vancouver Titans take that map 1-0. A very defensive oriented game. Let's go over to the final map, which was played on Watch Point Gibraltar, and this went to overtime. The Vancouver Titans take it 6-5, making the overall score of the series 3-1 in the favor of the Vancouver Titans. I genuinely believe that after watching this match, the Atlanta Reign are officially a good team. They're my favorite team to watch, by the way, but seeing them grow with the Fran leaving, Baby coming in, the roster looking like a mess at first, and then having them beat New York Excelsior twice in a row, and then the first day of Stage 3, they almost beat the Shock. They were one map away from taking it from the Stage 2 champions, and now they go toe-to-toe with the Vancouver Titans. I think it's safe to say that this roster looks official. They look clean, they look sharp, and they know exactly what they're doing. The Atlanta Reign is a top 7 team in my opinion. I could even argue that they're a top 5 team. However, we will see in the weeks to come how they play against the Shanghai Dragons, the Seoul Dynasty, teams kind of in the middle. If they stomp them, if they beat them, if they even lose to them, that will really give a lot more clarification to how good they are. But man, they should be proud of the improvement they've been exhibiting on the Overwatch League stage. In regards to the Vancouver Titans performance, Seoul played amazing. Bumper played really aggressive as he usually does, actually going for flank shatters with Reinhardt. Haxel being consistent on the Brigida, Slime, Twilight, amazing supports. But the player of the match was the Diva player, Janu, a player that has consistently been player of the match for the Vancouver Titans along with Seoul. Atlanta Reign also played really good. Dogman always seems to be like the playmaker on Zenyatta, getting individual picks like he got in the New York Excelsior match, which got them that victory. Dako was always playing consistent. Baby Bay, high energy on Zarya. So they played good too, but let's talk about the player of the match, Janu. He had 29,000 hero damage on Diva, 30 final blows, 8 self-destruct kills, 1 ultimate negated, 98 eliminations, and 10 deaths. Consistent across the board. He really helped the Vancouver Titans maintain their throne in the Overwatch League, being one of the best teams in the world. So the Vancouver Titans take the series 3-1 against the Atlanta Reign. Let's go on to the next series, which was the Seoul Dynasty against the Gwangju Charge. The Seoul Dynasty absolutely mopped the floor with the Charge. They completely destroyed them, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's go over the maps first. Oasis, Seoul Dynasty takes that, absolutely slaughtering them 2-0. Then we go to Paris, another 2-0. And then we go to Hollywood, 3-1, just utter domination. And then we go to the last map, Dorado, and the Seoul Dynasty take it 3-1, giving them a 4-0 clean sweep against the Charge. The Seoul Dynasty have a unique strategy that no other team has in the Overwatch League. They have so many great players on specific roles that specialize in certain heroes, and they put them all into a 6-man roster, and they use the strengths and weaknesses of these players, and they put them all together, and that is what the Seoul Dynasty is. It's a bunch of players that go into the lineup and they play their best because they are put into specific positions that complement their playstyle. So Ryu Jahan gets playtime, Illicit gets playtime, but then also instead of Ryu Jahan, Hylie comes in and he plays as Zenyatta. And then when Illicit subs out, you have Fleta, another great Brigida. So these players are subbing in and out, but the Seoul Dynasty is making it work. Now, who was the player of the match for the Seoul Dynasty? Who stepped up? And it was none other than Munchkin. You might think he was inconsistent throughout his career. He's really up and down his career, has some lows, has some highs, but let's talk about this match because he went off. He was the player of the match as Zarya. He had 50,000 hero damage done, 30 final blows, 60% average energy, 1.5 eliminations per graviton, and then he had had a brilliant elimination and death score. He had 93 eliminations and 8 deaths. Amazing play by Munchkin. He really set the tone in the match with his Zarya, was really playing aggressive with his Reinhardt, had some huge bubbles throughout the series, and he played amazing, giving the Seoul Dynasty the edge in the match. And that is the series. The Seoul Dynasty takes it against the Charge 4-0 in a clean sweep. On the last match of the day, we had the LA Valiant against the Chengdu Hunters, and boy was it one-sided. On the first map of Oasis, LA beats the Hunters 2-0. On the second map, Horizon Lunar Colony, it was pretty close, but the Valiant take that in a slugfest 5-4. On the third map, it was played on Ubani, the Valiant take that 5-3, and on Havana, the Valiant take that 3-2, giving the overall score of the series another 4-0 sweep of the day. The Valiant looked good, finally getting a win on the board after a very long time. This does come after the fact that Bunny did part ways with the LA Valiant. He was a very underrated tracer, but sadly this meta, it was just not for him. Now, speaking of new players coming in and out of the Los Angeles Valiant, we have Fact Fiction. This guy stepped up to the plate. He was a player on the Outlaws, went down to Contenders. Now he's back up in the Overwatch League, and he's back with a vengeance because he was a player of the match for the Valiant. Let me go over his stats on Reinhardt. He had 51,000 hero damage done, 29 final blows, 35 Earth Shatter stuns. His Earth Shatters were unbelievable. Monte Cristo was basically screaming on the top of his lungs. We have 18 Earth Shatter kills, 8 charge kills, and 27 deaths. I like what this guy brings to the table, especially to the LA Valiant. Him and Agilities will sync well together, and both of them on this roster, this team could really do some damage in the long run. They have the talented players, they just need to make it all click, and let's see where the Valiant goes. That was the end of the series. The score was 4-0. The LA Valiant beat the Chengdu Hunters. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like. I would greatly appreciate your support. If you guys want some Overwatch League content, we are going to pump content non-stop on this channel. We're going to give you guys recaps, breakdowns, analysis videos, match highlights. We are the channel to watch, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. This video is brought to you by ESTNN. Have a great day. Peace.